All right, here we are. We are on 2 Kings and 15. And 15, 16, 17, and we're going to do Acts 21. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Uzziah, the son of Amaziah, king of Judah, became king. He was 16 years old when he became king and reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jeshulun of Jerusalem, and he did what was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah had done, except that the high places were not removed, and the people still sacrificed and burned incense on high places. Then the Lord struck the king so that he was a leper until the day of his death. So he dwelt in an isolated house. And Jotham, the king's son, was over the royal house, judging people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of... change the page here. The Chronicles of the Kings of Judah. So as Azariah rested with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. Then Jotham his son remained in his place. In the 38th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Zechariah, the son of Jeroboam, reigned over Israel in Samaria 6 months. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, and as his father had done. And he had not departed from the sin of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. Then Shallum, the son of Jabesh, conspired against him and struck him and killed him in front of the people, and he reigned in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Zechariah indeed are written in the books of Chronicles of the Kings of Israel, and that was the word of the Lord which he spoke. This was the word of the Lord which he spoke to Jehu, saying, Your sons shall sit on the throne of Israel to the 14th generation, and so it was. All right. Shallum, the son of Jabesh, became king in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and he reigned a full month in Samaria. For Menom, the son of Gadai, went up from Tisra and came to Samaria and struck Shallum, the son of Jabesh, in Samaria, and killed him and reigned in his place. 15th verse. Now the rest of the acts of Shallum and the conspiracy which he led, indeed, they are written in the book of Chronicles, the Kings of Israel. Then from Tiziah, Menom attacked Tipshah, all who were there in this territory, because they did not surrender. Therefore he attacked it. All the women there who were with child he ripped open. In the 39th year of Araziah, king of Judah, Menom, the son of Gadai, became king of Israel and reigned 10 years in Samaria, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not depart from all the days of the sins of Jeroboam. In all his days he did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who he made Israel sin. Pul, king of Assyria, came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his right hand might be with him in strength, and the kingdom under his control. Then Menahem exacted the money from Israel, from all the very wealthy, and each man 50 shekels of silver, to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back and did not stay there in the land. Now the rest of the acts of Mannheim, I think it's Mannheim, Mannheim, and all he did, they are not written in the book of Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. So Mannheim rested with his fathers. Then Pekah, his son, reigned in his place. In the 15th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekahiah, the son of Mannheim, became king over Israel in Samaria and reigned 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and he did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. And Pekah, the son of Remaliah, an officer of his, conspired against him and killed him in Samaria, in the citadel of the king's house, along with Argob and Arai. And with him were 50 men of Gilead. He killed him and reigned in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Pekahiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of Kings of Israel? Then the 52nd year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, became king. Remaliah became king over Israel and Samaria and reigned 20 years, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord and did not depart from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. That Jeroboam was a bad guy. Every time they talk about being evil, we're talking about Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin in the days of Pekah, king of Israel. Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, came and took Ijon, Abel-Beth, Makkah, Johan, Kadesh, Hazor, Gilead, and Galilee in the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. And Hosea the son of Eli led a conspiracy against Pekah and the sons of Remaliah, and struck and killed them, and he reigned in his place 20 years. In the 20th year of Jotham the son of Uzziah. Now the rest of the acts of Pekah and all that he did, indeed they are written in the book of Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. In the 2nd year of Pekah the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, Jotham the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, began to reign, and he was 25 years old when he became king and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok, and he did what was right in the sight of the Lord. He did according to his father Uzziah had done. However, in the high places were not removed, and the people still sacrificed and burned incense in the high places. He built the upper gate of the city of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of Kings of Judah? All the days of the Lord began to send Rezin king of Syria to Pekah the son of Remaliah against Judah, and Jotham rested with his fathers and buried with him he was buried with him in the city of David his fathers, and Uzzah the son reigned in his place. Ahaz, maybe that's Ahaz. Ahaz, his son, reigned in his place. In the 17th year of Pekah the son of Remaliah, Ahaz the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. He did not do what was right in the sight of the Lord his God, as his father David had done. Verse 3. But he walked in the ways of the king of Israel indeed, and made his son pass through a fire according to the abomination of the nations who the Lord had cast out from before the children of Israel. And he sacrificed and burned incense on high places and on hills and under every green tree. And Rezin king of Syria, and Pekah the son of Ramallah king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem and made war, and they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him. That the time of Rezin king of Syria captured Elath for Syria, and drove the men of Judah from Elath. Then the Edomites went to Elath and dwelled there in this day. And Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria, saying, I am your servant and your son. Come up and save me from the hand of the king of Syria, which was from the hand of the king of Israel, who rose up against me. And Ahaz took the silver and gold that was found in the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house, and sent it as a present to the king of Syria. So the king of Assyria heeded him, for the king of Assyria went up against Damascus and took it, and carried its people captive to Kir, and killed Rezin. Verse 10. Now King Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria, and saw that an altar that was at Damascus. And King Ahaz sent to Uriah the priest of the sign of the altar and its pattern according to all its workmanship. And Uriah the priest built an altar according to that. And King Ahaz had set from Damascus. So Uriah the priest, Urijah, I don't know how to say that either. Urijah the priest made it before the king Ahaz came back from Damascus. And he came back from Damascus, and when the king came back from Damascus, the king saw the altar, and the king approached the altar and made offerings to it. So he burned his burnt offering and his grain offering, and poured his drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of the peace offering on the altar. He also brought the bronze altar from which before the Lord, from the front of the temple, between the new altar, the house of the Lord, and put it on the north side of the new altar. And King Ahaz commanded Urijah the priest, saying, on the great new altar burn morning burnt offerings, the evening grain offering, and the king's burnt sacrifice and his grain offering, with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, their grain offering and their drink offering, and sprinkled on it the blood of the burnt offering and all the blood of the sacrifice. And the bronze altar shall be before me to inquire by. Thus did Urijah the priest according to all that King Ahaz commanded. And King Ahaz cut off the panels of the cart and removed the laver from them, and then took down the sea from the bronze oxen that were under it, and put it on a pavement of stones. Also he removed the Sabbath pavilion which they had built in the temple, and he removed the king's outer entrance from the house of the Lord on account of the king of Assyria. Now the rest of the acts of Ahaz and all he did, were they not written in the book of Chronicles of Kings of Judah? So Ahaz rested with his fathers and was buried with his father in the city of David. And Hezekiah his son reigned in his place. We learned something about Hezekiah too. Hezekiah liked old Hezekiah. In the 17th year Ahaz king of Judah, Hosea the son of Elah. Well, I tell you, some of these names are just so odd looking. Elah became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 9 years, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as king of Israel, who who were before him, but not as the kings of Israel who were before him. Shalmaneser king of Assyria came up against him, and Hosea became a vassal and paid him tribute money. And the king of Assyria uncovered a conspiracy by Hosea, and he had sent messengers so the king of Egypt, and brought no tribute to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. The king of Assyria throughout all the land went up to Samaria and besieged it for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away to Assyria, the place where Halah, by the harbor, the river of Gozan, in the cities of Medes, So it was, for the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, who had brought them up from out of the land of Egypt and under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and feared their gods, and walked in their statutes, and the nations from the Lord had cast out from before the children of Israel, and the kings of Israel, which they had made. They just did evil in the sight of God constantly, continually. Also the children of Israel secretly did to their Lord their God things that were not right. They built for themselves high places in their cities and watchtowers and fortified cities, and they set up themselves sacred pillars and wooden images of every high hill and under every green tree. And there they burned incense on all the high places. Like the nations whom the Lord had carried away before them, they did wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. Time and time again, provoked the Lord to anger, for they served idols which the Lord had said to them, "You shall not do this thing." Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah, and by all the prophets, every seer, saying, "Turn from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes according to the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent you by your servant the prophets." Nevertheless, they would not hear, but their stiff necks, like the necks of their fathers, who did not believe in the Lord their God, and they rejected his statutes, his covenants that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. They followed idols and idolaters, and went after nations who were all around them, concerning who the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them. So they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made for themselves molded images and 2 calves, and made wooden images, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And all they caused their sons and daughters to pass through the fire, and practiced witchcraft and soothsaying, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them from his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah alone. And Judah did not keep the commandments. Also, Judah did not keep the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made. And the Lord rejected all the descendants of Israel, afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of plunderers, until he cast them from his sight. For he tore Israel from the house of David. And they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Lord, and made them commit a great sin. The children of Israel walked in the sin of Jeroboam, which he did, and they did not depart from this. 23rd verse. Until the Lord had removed Israel from out of his sight, and he had said by all his servants and prophets. So Israel was carried away from their own land to Assyria, as it is this day in Syria. So God just turned them over to a reprobate mind. They weren't even repentant. They were just turned over to reprobate minds, and as reprobates they were carried away. And I'm probably going to have to stop this video right now, and then I'll put another one on, and we'll go from there on, from the 24th verse of this, and then we'll do the book of Acts. That way I can download these in 20-minute increments. Okay, thank you. I'll see you. I'll have another video on part 2, okay?